Welcome to yet another edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We invite you to come on along with us on another interesting journey into the wicked and crazy mind of one Obastard. Yes, old Prez is at it again, and we'll jump into these crazy shenanigans right now. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and Obastard, he is at it again. The first thing he's done that's really crazy, he put a thumbs down on the Keystone XL Pipeline, and now the Canadians are kind of, or at least the Canadians that own it and are the operators of the project, are kind of mad at old Obastard, and they want to sue the government. Well, I have no problem with that. If somebody's mad at Obastard and they want to get him, fine. But here's what I would be opposed to, is if they sued and won, and then those funds were extrapolated from the general fund, then that would basically mean they're suing the American people. And we didn't have anything to do with this, at least the vast majority of us, not counting those special interest groups talking about this climate change crapola. I would much rather see them go straight into his pocket. And Michelle and Biden and all the rest of those governmental muckety-mucks, because they're asking for $16 billion. Now, we know that there are billionaires that probably have that much and maybe even a little more in their personal accounts. So I would suggest to them to go for him personally, and all that $16 billion they can't get from old Obastard, go for the rest of the governmental muckety-mucks and leave us American taxpayers alone. Now, let's even delve back into this Keystone XL Pipeline. It seems that everything this guy does, meaning Obastard, he does for either one of two reasons. One, for self-gratification and to make him look prestigious to a world which knows he's not. Or he does it for anything that seems to have a Muslim/Islamic twinge to it. So let's look at this pipeline business. As you know, they started up there in Canada. It sort of snakes its way through the U.S. and usually ends up somewhere on the Gulf Coast or somewhere in Texas. Within that, there would be a vast creation of jobs, both temporary and permanent, because you got to build the thing, and then after it's built, then some of that workforce probably have to find other employment. But then there's a long-term element to it, where there would be workers that would be there for the long haul to maintain and to run the damn thing. Well, that's not a good idea. That would be against the climate change position that I've taken, or the United States has taken, and we must lead by example. Bull crap. Let's talk about that for a bit. About 30, 40 years ago, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, was at the forefront of a lot of things pollution, whether it be air quality or waterways, what have you. They were at the forefront. And they came up with a lot of suggestions, amendments, laws, regulations, ruling, whichever one you wish to choose, regarding how we are treating Mother Earth. Some of them good, most of them okay, and some of them were really bad. But a lot of it was really good as far as improving upon having good air quality and keeping our waterways pristine. However, we know as human beings there's always a breakdown element to that, and to some degree that has happened. But let's look at all the good that's come out of it. Now, you look at climate change, and if you know me, you know how I feel about that. The climate has been changing ever since there's been a climate to change. And all of this thumping about and beating on the tom-toms and getting these little dried up actors and celebrities to jump on the bandwagon about climate change is nothing but bull crap. to clean up our earth, to make sure that it is pristine and here for our children and grandchildren to enjoy, you know I have no problem with that. But stop jumping on that bandwagon talking about climate change, because you know with your greedy, scroungy governmental butts that you want money. That's all you're after is money. So let's take that one off the table. With that said, I was looking at a video on YouTube, and it had to deal with Boeing jets, both past and present. And, you know, ever since about, I guess, the early 90s, the aircraft industry has really tightened up on their engines and the emissions and all of that stuff. So you don't really see, when the airplane takes off, you don't see those big black, you know, trails of smoke coming out of the engines. But I was watching this one of a 707, back from, say, 61, 62, as compared to the new Boeing Dreamliner 787. And I was just blown away at those thick, black trails of smoke coming out of those JT95s, the engines. And then the 787 took off, nothing. And how quiet the jet, the new 787 is to the 707. And I said, boy, we've really come a long way in aviation, you know, from those old jets belching out all that thick black smoke to where we are today. Well, if you look at the automotive industry, same thing. We've got so many not only fuel efficient cars, but eco-friendly cars as well, with two leaders in the industry, Chevy with the Volt and Nissan with the Leaf. These are totally electrics. Then you have Mitsubishi with the iMeave, or they don't call it the iMeave anymore. I forgot, it's the I think. And BMW is out there. Mercedes-Benz, all the major car makers are out there with total electric or hybrid cars. Very easy on the environment. Even the locomotives. The trains aren't belching out all of that, you know, thick black crapola like they used to. A lot of our commuter trains are electric. Here in California, my home state, we have done so much in the vein of keeping our environment clean and keeping our air clean. Thermal, hydro power plants are down near the Salton Sea, down near Mexicali Way here in California. We're doing so very much to clean up our environment, as we are all over the country. We're using compressed natural gas in our big rigs and in our service vehicles, our buses. I think I'm not misspeaking when I say that Los Angeles has the largest fleet of CNG buses than anywhere here in the United States. So the United States has really picked up vastly in the area of cleaning up our environment and being green or eco-friendly. If you really want to know who is the major culprits, you have to look over at China and India. I mean, those places are horrible. It's so thick and smoggy and smoky and polluted that sometimes it looks like they're driving around at night, and it's actually 12 o'clock in the daytime. Cars with headlights, people walking around with masks on, and all this kind of thing. So you know that the environment is not what it should be there. So, Obastard, come out of your act. We have to lead by example. No, this is what you wanted to do. You wanted to oppose this thing, and you shot it down because it would make you look like you're doing something good in the world when everybody knows that you're nothing but a bag of crap and that you're not doing anything good for the United States, let alone the world. You shot that down because it might have been good for America. But by the same token, you and Slithery Clinton and John Scary, among others, helped to broker a deal with Iran. In other words, you labored hard and brought forth a turd, because in this deal, Iran gets everything, including the crown jewel in their, in their force is to be able to make nuclear bombs. They are getting F-35s, F-22s. They're getting other types of armament. They're getting money, bukus of money. And we didn't get anything out of the deal, not even POWs. But you went and you just put your John Hancock all over that and smiled about it. Oh, this is a good deal. You've got tunnel vision, you creep. Bad for America. Very bad. In fact, they're probably over there with the North Koreans trying to, figure out who can make the bigger bomb to blow us to kingdom come. And that's because of your dumb ideas. Idiocy is in the heart of this man. Greed and self-gratification and trying to figure out some kind of little prestige, as I said before, in a world who knows that he's nothing. When I think of the things that this guy does, I actually have to wonder, perhaps does he and Michelle sit around in the Oval Office or in some other relaxing place in the White House and actually compare notes or figure out how they can foul up the lives of Americans? Because I don't see any other way that it could happen, because they both do it so well, especially him. He is ridiculous. Old Obastard may not have a whole lot of time left, but he's certainly going out true to form. Gets rid of the pipeline, but he brings on everything else that could destroy us. And then today I was looking at a program on telly in which right after the new year came in, and we're only 8 days in it, that he has basically ordered through the Homeland Security Department immigration hit squads. He's going around to the Hispanic people that came from El Salvador and places like that are refugees, and I quote, with your permission, refugees, because they're running away from the drug cartels and the gangs and domestic violence and all of this kind of stuff under the guise of, again, refugees. And they come up here, and now, actually, why they bypass all those other little townships or municipalities and what have you to come here, well, that's in the minds of them. But I figure if you got to go to the bathroom and there's a bathroom right here, or there's one like 7 or 8 doors down, which one do you go to first? The first one you get to, but who knows what's in the mind of a refugee. Anyway, they're here, and when they get here, they're immediately put into detention centers. Keep that in mind, because when I bring something else up, you might say, oh yeah, there is an interesting contrast. Okay, so they're brought up, they're put into these detention centers, and then I guess at some point they may go out into the mainstream, but from what I'm understanding, that works very haphazardly, that they basically get out into the mainstream. Okay, so he's ordered these hit squads to get them out of here. There, you can see them being lined up and walked to the buses and to the vans, shackled down as though they were John Wayne Gacy or what's this other guy that killed up all those people that's still on death row? Killed up Sharon Tate and some other people. Charlie Manson, yeah. You think they were Charlie Manson's body, shackled in the hands and down the legs, chains hanging everywhere. And he puts them on, they put on the buses to get them out of here. Okay, think about it, folks. You're getting the Hispanic ones out.
The non-illegal ones.
Non-illegal. They're, remember, refugees. Interesting contrast, as 10,000 or more Syrian and Iraqis and other Afghanistanis, am I saying that right? Refugees are coming in, and they're getting goodie bags, probably social security numbers, $1,000 gift cards from Walmart or Target, and hey, they're not being put in detention centers. They're being distributed all over the country. I know that for a fact because, as you remember in another episode of our show, I told you about my brother going over to the grocery store, and there was one creeping about in there, hijab and all, with the eyes showing all crookedly and creeping around like a little spirit. So, And, I don't think that we have a detention center over there near the grocery store. And even if we did, it's a detention center, which means all of their supplies are within that center, so they don't have free reign to walk around the neighborhood. How about that, folks? He doesn't need the Hispanics anymore, so he's shipping them out and making more room for his Muslim/Islamic contingent to come in and have free reign. That's classic Obastard for you. Classic. Hey, if I were of a Hispanic descent, I would be descending upon 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and picketing him to high hell, saying, why are we not your favored people anymore? Now that you've got all your Muzzy contingent coming over, when you wanted to get into office for a second term, you coddled us, you embraced us, you used us. How dare you? We do not need it anymore, so get the hell out. See, you wouldn't want to be you. But that's who he is. He is a user and an abuser of everything within his path. He used and abused his way into the White House. He used and abused his way into Harvard. He used and abused his way into everything that he's done. Look at what he did with his minister. He threw him under the bus when things got a little heated. You can't trust this guy. That's why I'm very glad that he's on his way out. In fact, I wish he was on his way out 6 years ago. But, into everybody's life, a bastard must fall. We certainly have had our share of this guy. But it just shows this, that he can't do right because he's so busy doing wrong. And he's a walking contradiction. Refugee on both sides of the ticket. You got Hispanic refugees over here, and you have his Muzzy contingent over here. Well, my thing is, if you're going to move out the Hispanic refugees, they have to go back to where they come from. Well, if that's his philosophy, then these other ones shouldn't have even been allowed to come into the country. It's just like moving a couch out of your living room because you don't like couches or you feel you don't need that couch, but you bring another couch in to take its place. What's the big deal? A couch is a couch. A refugee is a refugee. They're running from their type of torment. These are running from their type of torment. If you don't want one in the country, you don't need the other one. It's crazy. You're going to totally kill a pipeline, something that would create jobs, that would free us up from foreign oil, because unless we had one hell of an earthquake last night, Canada is on the same continent as we are. And if we share things back and forth as North Americans, then we don't necessarily have to be considered with foreign oil. But no, that's good. But then he goes 12,000, 15,000 miles across the pond to Iraq and Iran, and broker this deal that has no benefit to American people. And that's okay. The man is a walking disaster. Disaster, pure and simple. And anybody that follows him is a walking disaster. No president in the history of presidents, let alone the United States, has been as horrible as this, and for lack of a better word, man. And to see him go will be one of the greatest days of my life on this little green and blue planet we call Earth. Now, what's to succeed him, which I believe is going to be Slithery Clinton? I don't know, but I'm thinking it's going to be her. But it's so sad to see these horrible dregs of society that we elect to office through really no fault of our own, because that's all that's out there. A fair politician, a good politician. You show me one of those and I'll show you a virgin in a maternity ward. But we're getting screwed on so many levels by these idiots. Who thinks for us? Who speaks for us? Who cares for us? Ladies and gentlemen, we are like a big ship in a vast ocean with no rudder. We're going whichever way the wave dictates, because we have nobody steering the ship. And it's shameful, it's hurtful, it's disgraceful. In this land that we love so much, in this land that is technologically advanced beyond compare, in this land where we should be anything we need to be as a people, as a land, as a society, we're living like third world sewer rats. We can't even get our infrastructure straight. I was looking at a program on telly the other day. It was called Japanology, I believe it was, if I'm not misspeaking. They were talking about their railway, and man, whew, what a system. They, as you know, are just profound with these bullet trains. Over 100 miles an hour, over 200 miles an hour. They're approaching 250 to 300 mile an hour trains, moving I don't know how many, a million people per day, per hour. They were talking about the technology that they had come up with for their rail system. We're not talking about the actual train, we're just talking about the rail system. In some places in Japan, it gets very cold. I mean, icy. Well, they have come up with technology, thermal technology, to keep those tracks as dry and as clear of ice as if you live in the Sahara Desert. They've even got powerful, ultra powerful blower systems. You know how the tracks sort of switch so that you can switch the train to another track? Well, you know, if the ice forms on those switchers, you can have cataclysmic results. So what they do is they use high-powered hot air to blow ice and sludge off of those tracks to keep that mechanism flowing perfectly. And man, we won't even get into the actual trains themselves. They look like jet planes without wings. And the cabins, you couldn't differentiate really, unless you looked at the windows, whether or not you were on a 747-8 or a train. Gorgeous, even down to the carpets. Why is this? Because they take funding and they utilize it for their own society, for their own people. As much as we balk about the Chinese, and they're kind of screwing up financially, and in part maybe because they're trying to do what we do. But back in the old Chinese days, they took their funding and they built an empire. They built for their people. I don't know when, but I hope it's soon. But I'm thinking it'll be never. When our idiot governmental muckety-mucks will consider this country and her people their prime objective. Our airports, crap. Our railways, crap. Our buildings and bridges, crap. Look at that stuff they're building over there in Mumbai and Dubai. Those buildings are gorgeous, although one of them did catch fire on New Year's Eve. But anyway, you know, I don't know whether that was because of shoddy workmanship or maybe because they've been taking in, you know, these strange people and maybe they set the building on fire. But, I mean, looking at the stuff they built, I mean, it's just fantastic. We don't do that anymore because we're so damn busy trying to take care of some foreigners. We need to let these people stay in their own countries and take care of their problems, and we take care of our problems because we got one hell of a lot of them. We've got a crap load of them, and we need to take care of what we need to take care of. And we need to take care of that by really scrutinizing who we put in office. So again, as we're watching Obastard on the way out, and oh man, speaking of Obastard, I have to swallow on this one. Pretty soon, within the next couple of weeks, he's going to be on with his State of the Union address. I'm going to have my brother, the exec, go out and get me a new bucket. You might say, Phil, why do you need a bucket? So I can have it here and ready so I can puke. I know this bastard is going to come up with so many lies and so much crap that he'll actually believe it himself, because I sure won't, and I bet a lot of you won't either. So, with that in mind, as we are watching this bastard go out, we need to be ever vigilant. We need to be super, super careful about who takes the reins. Because we really can't stand another 4 years, let alone 8, of somebody like this guy. A megalomaniac, a greedmonger, and a stupid guy, which is a lethal combination. So, if it's anything that the Phil Taylor Jones Show would urge its viewers to do, is to please do the homework. I know that we live in a crazy society and that this political thing is just a mess, and that we really don't have that much of a say in it anymore. I mean, oh, get out there and vote. If you want to see things change, you better get out there and vote. We can vote our bloody heads off, in essence. And these power brokers and all of these lobbyists and whatever will still usher their person in there. But at least we can have some hand in it by doing the research. Do not fall for an expensive suit, a cute smile, a cute phrase, or whoever has the best one-upmanship. We need somebody in there, one that is adult, not childish. We need somebody in there who is going to be for every American citizen, not just a certain gender or a certain race. We need someone in there who is going to think, use the old gray matter to support the needs of the American people, not those of the special interests. We need somebody who's going to be in there and use common judgment and look at things in a realistic way, because that's what things are, real, and we need to look at them realistically. This whole thing of climate change is the biggest turd that was ever dropped in the toilet. Yes, the climate is going to change. Just like the stupidest thing somebody can ask someone else when they're sick. Do you have a temperature? I should bloody well hell hope you have a temperature, because if you don't, that means you're dead. Do you have a fever? Is your temperature really high? That's where you go to work. But do you have a temperature? Yeah, at 98.6, don't you? Climate change. Yes, the damn climate's going to change. It's going to change from cold to hot. It's going to change back from hot to cold. It's going to rain sometimes. The winds are going to blow. The snow is going to fall. It's going to form ice. It's going to get hot as hell. Climate is going to change. So get off that crap. Should we protect our environment? Yes. An emphatic yes. We should do all that we can do to make sure that our vehicles are as clean as they can possibly be, and to the extent possible to depend on natural and renewable resources. Yes, I believe in that. I believe in that like I believe my name is Phil Taylor Jones. And I have no problem with it. If it costs a little money, it'll cost a little money. Some things may not cost that much. But get off of this crap about greenhouse gases and who's going to do this. This world has been here for billions of years, withstanding a hell of a lot more than what maybe people can throw at it. It may take it a little more time to regenerate, but it does. America has been at the forefront of changing climates and making sure that our climate stays in a pristine state by enforcing better fuel emissions, better ways of making gasoline and petroleum products. So don't give me that crap, Obastard, about environmental. We're one of the cleanest damn countries on the planet. Go over there and peddle your crap to China and India. We have made significant strides in keeping our ecosystem clean. Can we do more? Yes. But get off that crap. You and all these dried up bastards, celebrities, who are riding around in Hummers, for God's sake, going to their green rallies. in limousines, stretch limousines. I'd like to see one of them tool up there on a bike, Mr. John Q. Celebrity. Please, get off that crap. People, got kind of mad there, but it's maddening. But anyway, as I said before, let's do the homework this time. We don't need another Obastard. 8 years is more than enough, don't you think? So do the homework, and hopefully we can get somebody in there other than Slithery Clinton, because if she gets in there, Lord have mercy on this poor country. I would hate to see a United States with her at the helm. I would just soon pick any prisoner from any prison in the United States and put them into office, and I bet they could do a better job. Because if that were to happen, I would bet the prisoner would be more of an honest person than Slithery Clinton. We appreciate your coming along with us on this crazy journey with old Obastard and his shenanigans, and we hope that you'll join us again real soon here on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.